There's not a whole lot you can do. You know, when you look at your schedule, everybody's going to have a tough stretch at some point. Some a little bit, maybe a little bit harder than others because you can't predict, the timing of injuries or, somebody out because of COVID or, whatever. There's just a lot of factors that go into it. So we all knew that, when things are just in a regular season, you're going to have a stretch or two that's pretty difficult for you. And now, obviously, this was one of those for us where we had 4 out of 5 road games, and now we're going to have 4 straight road games because, we didn't play Nebraska, and we got to, schedule that at another time. So, but, it's part of it. You got to be able to roll with it. We're fortunate that, we're able to play.
What you saw from Michigan State against Rutgers, did they turn a corner, you think, for
well,
that game?
Well, they definitely, played their best defensive game of the year. And, obviously we know, Rutgers has a lot of weapons, have a lot of guys that can, make one-on-one plays. They have good size. They have good athleticism. Ron Harper Jr., Geo Baker, Young, McKay, Mathis. McKay and Mathis were a big part of our game, with Ron Harper Jr. being out. And they just kind of just shut those guys down, made it hard. Ron Harper had 13, and Michigan State was great. They were great on the ball. They were great away from the basketball, and looked like Michigan State defense to me.
How has Hauser kind of impacted them?
Well, he's a good player. Like, he's interchangeable. He can play a couple spots. He can shoot. Knows how to play. He's playing hurt too. You can definitely tell if you've seen him before. He's not moving as well. But it just kind of shows you, even when he did get hurt in that Northwestern game, he got back in there, and he's going to fight and try to win the game. And so just, tough kid. We played him when he was at Marquette, and can stretch the defense, is good around the basket, gets 50-50 balls. Just one of those guys you'd like to have on your team.
Trey's had some success before against them, and I think they've been a little bit vulnerable to post scoring. What's he been doing lately, and what do you have to do, I guess, to get him involved?
Yeah, just embracing, posting deeper. He has too many opportunities where he settles to get the ball too far away from the basket. When he posts deep and he goes right at people, he has more success. It's not 100% or anything, but just got to get him the details, whether it's playing post defense or posting up deep or just staying detail oriented, because when he does little things, the rest takes care of itself. He's a good player.
I guess, was there any value this week in just having all practice? I know you've said before that it's really valuable to practice a number of times during the season. You don't get that opportunity very often.
Yeah.
Was there anything you could do differently this week without that midweek game?
No, we actually took that day off. So, I think any time, especially with the situation we're in the pandemic, if you get a day to get off, you have to, even though we got a stretch next week of time, that time's still important. Because now when we still go pretty long when we do practice. So when you have a time to give them off, I think it's necessary, even though we fouled it up and we weren't very good in practice yesterday. And so that's just kind of sometimes a byproduct of youth or maybe a byproduct of immaturity, because we just, we weren't that good. And I think anytime you talk to coaches across the country, it's just a thing that you deal with when you give a day off. You've helped them physically by giving them a day off, but can you stay on edge and can you be mentally ready after that day's off to practice? And we just weren't. And so hopefully today we can have a better practice to get ready for Michigan State.